What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about Zion Williamson and whether or not he should play with the New Orleans Pelicans or if he should try and get out of it. So let's see what they have to say about that.
Do you think Zion should pull the power play to avoid the Pelicans?
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do. Kiki Vandeweghe did it in 1980. Danny Ferry did it years later. Kobe Bryant, to a lesser degree, did it. Eli Manning did it in football. It's not like it's precedent-setting, number one. But number two, and more importantly, and this is all due respect to David Griffin, Alvin Gentry, the New Orleans Pelicans, and all of this stuff. Here's what everybody's missing. You don't have to sit up there and go for front and center. And, of course, you don't go back to Duke. You're going to go to the NBA and make your money. We get that. What I'm saying is, in light of what happened to Anthony Davis last year, if you are Zion Williamson and you know you don't want to be in New Orleans, then you know what? You can quietly send word to them. I just want you to know I don't want to be here, because you never know what that might spark them to do in light of all the stuff they had to deal with Anthony Davis. You're going to go there if they want to draft you. We understand that. You ain't going back to Duke. But right now, sitting there and whispering in their ear, I really don't want to be here, just so you know. Why not?
So I kind of have a problem with that because everybody knows the worst teams get the highest picks that next year in the draft. The best player in the draft goes to one of the worst teams. Everybody knows that. And so teams have tried to cheat the system by tanking even harder towards the end of the season so they can get a higher draft pick, which backfired this year because of the lottery, and I'm happy that happened. But now it's kind of reversed itself with the players trying to play the system or cheat the system, and you don't want to go to the worst team. You want to go to another team that's maybe more established or has a bigger market or is a bigger city, or you might be able to track other big-time players. Nah, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And if Zion Williamson is such a great player, if he's on a level of Michael Jordan and LeBron James and all that, then he should have no problem starting a dynasty with the New Orleans Pelicans. You should have no problem. As a matter of fact, if a player is that good, you should want to go to the worst team so you can show everybody how good you are, that this team was so bad that I came here and I turned everything around. I started a dynasty. I won rings. I did everything from the ground up and won. I didn't have to go to a team that's already established. I didn't have to go to a super team. I didn't have to go to a big team market. I went to a team that was pure trash. Nobody knew about or cared about. And now we are multiple-time champions. All because of me. All because of me. Kind of like what Michael Jordan did. Jordan didn't run from the Bulls. He's like, all right, let me put in work here. Let me do my thing here and get these rings. Same thing with Dirk Nowitzki. You know, so this whole thing trying to not go with the Pelicans because you don't want to go there, or it's not a big-time market, or the New Orleans Pelicans doesn't seem cool. No. And this kind of tells me something about Zion Williamson's character, that you want to pout and kind of get out of going to the number one draft team. Nah, that doesn't sit right with me. So let's keep going.
For basketball reasons, actually, not just for the money, but for basketball reasons. The more I think about New Orleans, as disappointed as I was also that he wound up there, you know, when it's never been a situation like this, history of basketball that I can remember, guys, when Tim Duncan was taken by the Spurs, David Robinson was hurt. That's why they wound up with the number one pick. Then Robinson comes back. Oh, my God, they're a monster, right? But Robinson was past his prime. Now, AD ain't going to be on the team all year. So whenever has a guy as good as Zion gotten to a city where they've had an asset like AD that they're going to trade for assets that will likely all be around Zion's age? Not to mention, Drew Holiday should also get you something. I cannot think of a time, because Griffin is a competent GM, where a guy like Zion's wound up on a team with this many assets that can bring this much stuff around his age. Guys, they're going to mature together, grow as a team together. In 3 or 4 years, the Pelicans, if this is handled right, will be a juggernaut.
So that just makes it even worse, Max, that Zion Williamson is trying to get out of playing with the team that has potential, to have all those players to come and they can grow together and become a dynasty. That makes it even worse that he wants to run from that. That makes it even worse. Like I said, if you're that good of a player, you should not want to go to an established team. You should not want to go to a team that's already stacked. You should want to go to the worst team in the league that's won absolutely nothing. You want to go there and you want to start your own dynasty. You want to own it. You want to get rings. You want to do everything. build up that squad so that's your squad, and then nobody can put anything past by you. Say, well, you're already a made-up team, or that team's already established and has a good marketing city. So I just don't really like how, and this, like I said, this kind of tells me something about Zion Williamson's character, if you will, that you want to run from a team that's picking you. I mean, would you rather be a second-round pick versus being a first pick and go to the team that you want? I mean, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And it doesn't matter if other people have ran from being going to a team that they didn't want. Like I said, this is all part of it. And if you're that good, start your own dynasty. Start your own dynasty. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
So for basketball reasons, you say stay in New Orleans, Max?
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with that. This is a perfect situation because it's not just the way you played it out, Max. It's not just the ability to grow with young guys around you with the trade assets you bring back for Anthony Davis. If, by all miracles, that David Griffin can pull off the recruiting pitch to Anthony Davis, that's also a perfect fit for basketball reasons. Zion Williamson.
It is. That would be a perfect fit. Like I said before about what Max just said, Zion Williamson kind of has a good setup because he can definitely grow with the Pelicans, and the Pelicans can't get players to come there. But for whatever reason, he doesn't want to go there because it's not cool to be in New Orleans. Pelicans, he'd rather be in New York, a big city, or whatever situation is. It just doesn't seem right that you're going to run from that. And for some reason, I think karma might come back and bite him in the butt for screwing over New Orleans like that. I mean, you should be so happy just to get into the league, man. I mean, get into the league and go there and play because you never know what might happen. You never know what might happen, Zion. You might start the best dynasty ever. You guys might 8-peat championships, just like what the Boston Celtics have done. You never know what could happen if you go to New Orleans. But to run from it and to, kind of pout, I don't want to go with these guys and all this other type of stuff, that's just not cool, man. That's just not cool at all. And I kind of expected a little bit more. But I don't know. This is just crazy. So let's keep going.
Next to a big who can stretch the floor, opening up lanes for him to get to the rim, a point guard in Drew Holiday. This could be perfect for Zion either way. The only way we really don't like this is from a marketing perspective, from the new.
And as far as marketing, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Well, that's low on the totem pole of having a player and where to go. Because the number one thing is winning. If you win, you're going to get the endorsements, you're going to get the publicity, you're going to get all that. It doesn't matter where you're at. Let Zion Williamson going on a dynasty run of 3 wins in a row like the Golden State Warriors. You don't think that they're going to get mad publicity? You know how many people are going to jump on that New Orleans Pelicans bandwagon? You don't see any New Orleans Pelicans shirts or jerseys too much anywhere. But I guarantee you, let Zion Williamson go up there and start winning and start getting championships. I bet you see New Orleans Pelican jerseys popping up everywhere. Everywhere. I guarantee you it. So I think he just needs to go there and win and do what he needs to do and stop trying to run, man. Stop trying to run. Just be happy that you got drafted. Make it happen. You never know what could happen. If you're that good, this should be a challenge to you. This should be a challenge. You know what? I'm going to a team that's trash. Everybody wants to leave it, but guess what? I can transform this. I can transform this into being a super dynasty. That's the way you should be thinking about it. That should be the way you're thinking about it. And if things don't work out, then you can always, ask for a trade or whatever. But go there, serve your time. And if things don't work out, you're to ask for a trade or figure something out. But you got to at least go there, man. You at least got to go there. It just seems so bad that he would try and get out of this. And there's probably people in his ears and you want to go to New York and all this other type of stuff. Nah, man, you got to man up and go to the team that picks you. Because you never know what might happen. You never know. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
New York, hand in glove, perfect superstar potential perspective. And I say to Zion, man,